I did the sidechain already, so you guys know about all the sidechain stuff, how to do like the sidechain effect.
Sorry, before you go on, so you said you do 4 main buses: the beats, the bass, the
Yeah,
musical, and the vox.
yeah.
Do you put the effects for those various ones in those same buses? You don't need to
No,
send.
I don't put effects. What I use is EQs. So I have, for example, I have a low cut on the bus with all the musical content, like the sequences, all the stuff. So I cut everything from 200 downwards because you don't need it. Yeah, so I have like I use like the SSL, like the EQs from Waves.
The incidental effects for the track, like, do they get their own bus, or they put in?
Actually, like I work. Actually, no. I put like all the effects on the individual instrument. So I don't really use, like, let's say you create 2 or 3 buses with delay and reverb, and then you just put it in the sense and you open it. This is what I did before to save resources. But now, for the fact I have a big Mac in my studio, I tend to have I work with the individual effects I need just on this one channel for this one instrument to make this the way I want it, and then use some others maybe for the next one. Which is I realize for me it's much better when you work on a delay on, for example, with the feedback and stuff. It's easier to have it in your channel than putting it just on a bus and send it to the individual instrument. Yeah, and then one interesting thing is when you work with the buses, like it's especially with the frequencies. I realized, since I have the EQs in the subgroups, I don't really use so much EQs anymore on the individual instruments, because it's already, for the fact I know how to cut out some frequencies on the main groups. I don't have to do it on every individual track anymore. I don't know, I think it's not common to do it, but I realized for me, my sound got much bigger and better since I started to work this way.
Roger, what kind of stuff do you usually look for to EQ out? Like whenever the sound like barks at you, you take it and kind of sweep the frequencies and take out stuff, or what?
I mean, this is what I always see what people do to find like the tricky frequencies. Actually, I don't do that anymore. I think if you have an instrument or a specific sound and you listen loud and you feel there's something wrong with the frequency, then of course you try to find it. But I realize nowadays, for the fact with all the new sounds that, especially from silent, for some, they already sound so great. There's no need to do so much things. So, so as I've said, what I'm doing is for all the synth sounds, I have them all through one out, and this is what I EQ a little bit. So I remove like the bass, give a little bit on. Let me see if we have. Let's just take this for example. So we have just a pad. I just open this EQ. Like the way my setup would look like is I would low cut maybe at 120. I would give a little bit here, and I would give a lot of stuff there. Of course, like if you work with the waves, with the SSL EQs, they sound different. You can really feel it, the way it gets a very warm, very nice, warm sound without being too aggressive, which is very cool. So this is something I can recommend to try out. So this helped my mixes a lot. So that's why before I had like in every individual channel, I had like the EQs and tried everything like you said. You find the tricky frequencies, you put them down. And for the fact now I'm using the SSL EQs, I don't need it anymore. At least for me, I don't need it. Maybe sometimes I'm getting old, my ears, I don't hear it anymore. But yeah, so I think for me it works that way. So this would be like a situation like I would have like a EQ.
Roger,
Yeah,
I'm presuming you just showed us the EQ you'd use on the musical bus.
yeah.
Is there any chance we could see the EQs that you generally, like, because you did that pretty quickly. It's like, this is what I would do for the musical bus. And I'd
Yeah.
love to see, this is what I do for my beats. This is what I do for the bass. and
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, I can do that. Yeah, even we don't have the don't have the stuff yet here, but for bass drum, for example, even we don't have it on this on the subgroup now. But I would for the bass drum actually depends on the bass drum and and what you want to do. Sometimes I feel like doing a low cut after like 40 because you don't need it. But sometimes for some reason you really feel that something is missing, then I just leave it out. Um, with the same thing is with the bass drums. If you have like a great bass drum from a great like sample library, like yeah from Sounds to Sample or something. I just bought one. It was called Tuned Kicks or something. I think it was. You have so many amazing kick drums. You can just use them plain, the way they are, and that's it. So that's sometimes for the kicks and the beats. I leave it very simple and just give a little bit there, maybe even put it from 10,000 to even 12 or 14. Just when you have like also on this channel, on the sub channel, like the hi-hats and stuff, you give some more highs and mix it even a little bit lower in the mix nowadays. And yeah, just that they make it through the mix, I give a bit highs on the sub channel, that I don't have to mix them too loud. And then depending on if you use a lot of percussions, like for example, when I work on Sun Launcher, I use a lot of bongos and stuff like that. So you need some presence in the mix as well to make it through the mix. But usually for the drums, I have it very like this actually. For the bass, let's just play a bass maybe. Mm, I think actually just a simple saw when you open an instrument should do. Not this one. Actually, when we just open the silence, no. much better.
templates when you're at home in your studio?
No, I always start from scratch most of the time. Or sometimes when I get a request to do a special remix for something, and somebody told me, "Oh, if you could do remix like this or that track," then I would start load this song and then delete all the stuff and use some of the elements, for example. Yeah, but it's not working like that. So. I don't like it. So for the bass.
Roger, could you kind of go through what were you trying to achieve by using the EQ on the bass itself, or What was it that you were trying to eliminate or trying to increase?
So at the bass channel, I would do some low cut because you don't need the deep sounds, because otherwise you lose the punch of the bass drum. I most of the time do a low cut at 80. Yeah, as I said, that you don't lose the punch. And when I have the EQ like on my main sub, I give a little bit to the high, especially if you have like some of this noisy saw basses, that you still have this kind of dirty element. Then it sounds nice if you have some highs in the bass as well.
And where would you go next from? You kick drum, your bass. You got a pad in there now as well.
Yeah, so I would do a second bass line maybe first. Or for now we can just keep it like that. That's fine. Maybe playing some plug sounds. Partied too hard last night. Yeah. Maybe we play on 2 times. Let's see. Yeah, you play that one. Punch it in from there. Oh, different vibe, huh? Yeah. I played it in one. Okay. Actually, I think we just create a bus to pretend I use it like I use it in my studio. Yeah, I think sounds already nice with just some parts. So double this. So as you can see, when as soon I put like this sound now on my main channel, it already fades out the distorting frequencies because we have this one master EQ, and especially if you use the SSL, it makes the sound very warm and the frequencies they are going just the way it should be. So it helps a lot to remove a lot of stuff from your mix. Mm. What are the main synth you guys are using when you do stuff? Like silent, massive? Yeah, I mean, this is at the moment. I think one reason why people like to work with them, including myself, is because you get so many great patches. What I use sometimes is also Nexus, so it has some good sounds too to layer. Especially when I do my DJ performances, for example, I use just the Nexus to use some nice sounding presets, which goes like similar to like one of the sounds I've used in a production, and then with those I play them live at my shows, which works great well too.
How many parts do you usually put down before your 16 bars, your 32 bar loop, until you decide like, okay, I'm gonna start kind of laying this out? Or
This is different. I mean, depends on the musical theme I want to do. For now, I think 8 bar is nice with the progression and the melody. Sometimes you have like melodies over 16 bars. When you work on beats, sometimes I just do like a 2 bar loops first in program and then copy paste it from there. But that's totally depending on the composing of the theme what you want to do. So for the strings, I work with Vienna. So with the Vienna Symphonic Library, which is really amazing when you work on especially on scores and stuff. Because I don't know if somebody ever tried it, but it's like unbelievable with the options you can do. Once you work with that, you don't want to touch any other strings from any sampler anymore. So this is really cool. If you check on the Vienna website, for example, you see some demonstration, especially if you want to do more classical orchestral stuff. It's really amazing. Like they have the MIR concept, which is like a reverb, like kind of a like Space Designer, but it's actually the original Vienna orchestral venue, and you have your virtual stage, and you can, let's say, you play like the violins. You can place the violin exactly like on stage where they would be in real time, even in the depth of the stage, which is unbelievable. Like sometimes I'm impressed about about the technology nowadays. It's like, and then if you know how to program those orchestras, you really come really close to a real one. Like it's unbelievable.
Very much like to thank Pyramind for hosting me here once again. I think this institution is really cool, and until I came here for the first time, I had never seen anything like it in my whole life.
What I think really separates us from other people who teach is that we are outrageously passionate about what we do, and especially in electronic music.
Since coming to Pyramind, I've discovered electronic music, and San Francisco being a mecca for underground electronic music opened up so many doors for me, and kind of blew my mind.
We cover everything from absinthe to contact. When people get to the mind-melting level, we get into modular synthesis.
Everything about native instruments, everything about Logic synths, down to the finest detail. We learned it all.
The fundamentals of understanding how things work, that's just essential. But then beyond that, there's so much more, and that's where it gets into just a lot of the artistic side of like the creative approach of why you do something, not just how.
There's a lot of schools that just, they focus on the technicality of recording music, but I wanted something that would foster creativity and really help me develop as an artist as well.
Each of our genre-specific programs comes in 4 levels. There's a basic, an advanced, a professional, and then a master's level. And the master's level is, of course, everything we do. It's the largest and most powerful programs that we can create for you.